how did you come to that conclusion that you're going to bring Ben Donaldson and demote Carter Gordon?
Yeah, I just feel we needed to probably freshen the team up. Carter's had an opportunity, struggled a bit against Fiji and thought that he's best to finish the game for us.
Do you think that this dents his confidence, or by taking him out of the firing line from the outset, does that help him?
Well, I think with young players, you've got to have a feel of where they are, and sometimes you need to back them, and sometimes you need to pull them away a little bit. And just at the moment, we feel like it's best to pull him away a little bit.
How did he take the news?
Oh, obviously disappointed. Every player's disappointed. They all want to start, but he knows he's got an important role in the team.
Was there an aspect of this game that you illustrated that he was lacking a bit of confidence, or you weren't happy with?
Well, that's between me and the player.
And what does Ben bring that Carter might not?
Just a freshness to the position. He's a good attacks the line well, Ben. When he came on in the second half, he really attacked the line well. And against Wales, if we're able to get some quick ruck ball, we've got Wayne Barnes, who generally referees the game with quick ruck ball. We need a 10 who can attack the line.
Obviously not plan A, though, to change your 10 at this point in the tournament.
Well, I think we've got to be an adaptable team. We're a young team finding its way, and that's part of the World Cup campaign, mate.
Tate returns. Was your anointed vice captain when you named the squad initially, but you've stuck with Dave from last week. Why sticking with Dave instead of going
Well,
with Tate?
I think we've got a leadership group, mate. And they're working really closely together. And I know the captaincy's a key role, but we just feel the consistency from Dave from last week to this week, allow Tate to come back in and play his game will be important.
Can you tell us what Andrew Holloway offers at the back?
Yeah, well, he's a smart player, reads the game well, and against Wales particularly, who are an exceptionally high kicking team, I think his composure and his ability to read the game well is going to be important.
Were the changes in the back row, bringing Tom from blind to open, Fraser on bench, was that a reaction to breakdown issues last week, or was that specific about what you think you need to target against the Welsh?
No, I've just gone for a bit of a heavier back row this week. Again, we think there's going to be a fair bit of quick ball this week, which will suit Tom Hooper at 7. And Leota gives us much more carry. Without Tupou and Skelton, we just lacked a bit of carry in the forwards, and we wanted to get a bit more carry there.
Eddie's Rob Ballatini injured, or did he train for you this week?
I trained, to my knowledge, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, so he in no doubt of missing that game. And Andrew Kellaway you brought in at the back. What did you like from him on the training page coming?
Well, I think I covered that. He reads the game well, communicates well on the field. He's got his fitness back too. He's a bit short when he came in. He had a long hamstring injury, and now he's got good capacity. And one of the features of the World Cup has been the amount of high speed running the back three have to do because of the amount of kicking. And he's right on the money.
How are you approaching this game? Australian rugby is in an interesting state, and Wallabies are 1 from 7, and you've been brought back to do a job. How are you approaching the game? Is it one of the biggest you've ever coached?
No, it's like any other test match, mate. They're all important. Every test match is important. Look, I've let Australian rugby down, mate. I haven't done the job I was brought in to do. I was brought in to turn it around, so I feel that responsibility. Do I approach it differently? No. Just get the team well prepared. That's the only thing I can control.
Do you feel Wales are vulnerable? Like you've had success, you know what Warren Gatland's teams do. Do you feel like the Wallabies are well positioned going into this game?
Well, I'd hardly say well positioned, but what I would say is that we've had a really good preparation. I've been impressed how the young teams bounced back. Last week was a difficult game for us. and we've bounced back really well and prepared really well for this game, so we'll go out there and give it a red-hot go.
Who's worked out who's coming in for Max yet?
Sorry?
For Max replacement.
Yeah, I have, but we don't need to announce it yet.
All right, secret, is it?
No, but we'll get this game out of the way, mate.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Sorry.
But Timmy
sorry.
Warren, that's
sorry.
all right. No, we'll hold it.
Sorry, I don't want to be arrogant to you, mate. I know how sensitive you are.
Yeah. Timmy Horan's tweeting about Joseph. Is he any chance?
Right, you better ask Tim that.
Right.
And are you surprised by the backlash from home? Drew Mitchell came out with some pretty choice words about, how you're handling things as well. Is it, surprising to you the intensity of thought back there? And
I've been coaching 30 years, mate. I think I know what's coming.
so his point, I guess, was that it hadn't been explained. Some of the decisions you made, you haven't explained properly. Do you
I
do
think...
you feel you need to, or that's
Yeah, well, I think I have, mate. I've been very clear about the fact that I've been brought in to change Australian rugby, and as we've said, the results haven't been good, but I'm bringing through a young team that can be the basis of the team going forward. I've made no bones about that. I think I've explained that very clearly. And then we needed to move players on.
Does it disappoint you when people of that profile, and also people like David Campese, have been so strong in their opinions about you and how you're operating?
I think that's a funny question.
Is there an answer?
What answer would you like?
What answer do you have?
Well, I don't listen to any of that noise, mate. I don't even know what Drew Mitchell said. I've got no idea what he said. I've got no idea what David Campese said. So if you want to explain it to me, I'm happy to listen to it.
Eddie, you said in an interview this week you might be here for another 3 weeks or 3 years. What did you mean by that?
Well, at the end of the World Cup, there'll be a review, mate. And given the results we've had, then maybe Australian rugby doesn't want to keep me. That's the reality of the job I live in, mate. And I understand that.
Are you fearful of that?
No.
Are you committed?
I'm just worried about coaching against Wales this week, mate.
Are you committed to coaching the Wallabies?
I'm just worried about coaching Wales this week.
It's a pretty simple question. Wallabies next
I'm
year.
just committed to coaching Wales this week.
So I'll take that you're not committed to the Wallabies next year.
No, that's not the answer I gave you, mate.
Eddie, do you feel like you've, by ushering through all this change, do you feel like you've made not necessarily the job harder for yourself, but you've had to do something that other people haven't been prepared to do?
Well, sometimes, and coaching's like this, and I don't try to make myself out as a saint, but sometimes you got to take some hard decisions to get the results further down the track. And I've got no doubt we'll win on Sunday. Probably Saturday's too early. I've got no doubt we'll win on Sunday. Got no doubt. The way the team's prepared, the way they've come together, I've got no doubt we'll win on Sunday. But if we don't, then sometimes you've got to do the work that allows you to be successful further down the track. I don't know of any team that you can come in and blow magic over. You've got to go through a process, and you've got to find out what's wrong with the team, and then you've got to try to address those problems. So I sit here very comfortably feeling like I'm doing the job I should be doing. Now, I know people are upset about it, and I understand that, and I would be too if I was a fan, because the results aren't good enough. But sometimes there's some pain before you get some success.
Eddie, what do you say to Wallabies fans who are just desperate to get out of the pool? Do they need to be patient? Do they need to accept a rebuild during a World Cup, regardless of the consequences?
Well, I don't think anyone ever accepts a rebuild. No one likes a rebuild, do they? Like, everyone wants results, and they want results immediately. So all I can say to the fans is that we're working every day to get better. And there's no more I can ask for my players. There's no more I can ask for my staff. Everyone's working well as we can. And we're working to improve the team. And sometimes it hasn't been good enough, and I apologise for that, and that's my fault. And as I said, following the question up the back, I'm happy to take full responsibility for that.